dear parents. Topic for today is what we can do when it rains outside. Now, what we see is as it starts raining, it brings a respite from the harsh weather of summer. But as it rains, there is more greenery, the weather gets colder, the children enjoy themselves, they meet their friends, they start going to school. Along with that, there comes a spike in illnesses. Mainly what happens is, due to cold weather and rains, the kids are frequently exposed to respiratory illness like cold, cough. So also with rains, the runaway water contaminates the water sources. So there are more number of typhoid, enteric fever, diarrheal illnesses. So also what happens is the water stagnates after rains, and this stagnant water becomes a source of growth for mosquitoes, which can cause dengue, malaria, chikungunya and other diseases. Now, another important thing is as the children go to school, they meet their friends, they interact and they bring new illnesses. So, say for example, A child has illness, he meets B child, the illness of A goes to B child. In the same way, imagine so many permutation combinations where there are a class of 50 kids having various illnesses, they sit together, eat together. So, number of infections suddenly rise during the time of the kids rejoining school. Now, another important thing is current COVID-19 situation or the corona outbreak is also another important thing to consider, and let's understand what we can do as a parent to protect our kids during this weather. Dear parents, let's understand one by one what precautions we should take, and these are the top 10 precautions. Firstly, water hygiene is the most important thing. Let's understand what happens is following rains, this water runs along the fields, along the gardens. What we have seen is lot of fertilizers, manures are used on these agricultural lands. So also open defecation and using of organic manures can all be a source of infection once they run away and join the water bodies. Such water, if consumed, is a source of lot of infections. So let us make sure that whatever water our kids are consuming, it should be safe for them to drink. If you have a RO or UV filter, that is very good. If not, then boiling water is a very sure way of cleaning it. Boiled water is best for your kids to be consumed. Now, having understood that, food hygiene also is very important thing. Let's understand the same vegetables are grown in the farms which are sprayed with various fertilizers. So also the runaway water brings about lot of different chemicals which are flushed away over these vegetables. Now make sure that your kid consumes the vegetables or fruits after they are thoroughly cleaned. Make sure that you wash out all the dust, all the mud. So also clean it such that whatever fertilizer is sprayed on them is cleansed. Now, having understood this, the third important thing is about personal hygiene. If you are maintaining good hygiene regarding water and consumption of food, if we don't take care of our personal hygiene, then it is futile. Make sure that your kid washes his hands, especially before and after food, and so also before and after his visits to the toilet. If he does that, then if the food is clean, if the water is clean and he himself is clean, then we are most certainly avoiding the major infections like diarrheal disease, dysentery, enteric fever, and other foodborne food poisonings. Now, please understand that after doing these things, the fourth important step would be that whatever water sources are around your house, these should be closed. Please understand, the puddle of water, which is stagnant water following rains, are very good sources for growth of Aedes mosquito. These mosquitoes can bite your kids and they can be the reason for your kids suffering from dangerous illness like malaria, dengue, chikungunya. So, apart from this, not just this stagnant puddle of water, but also old tires or coconut shells, even the flower pots or vase which are water filled around the house can be source of mosquitoes. So during rainy season we see a spike of these illness. So make sure that you prevent or avoid development of these sources which can cause dread illness to your child. Now, coming to the fifth important point, the major illness which spikes during rainy season is respiratory illness. I know it is difficult to prevent it because the kid goes to school, another kid sneezes, coughs, and he gets the infection. Yet, there are few principles which, if all of us adopt, then we can definitely bring about some change. Let's understand that as our young ones start going to school, first thing as a parent we should teach them is regarding personal hygiene, and if a child has a cough or a cold, then make sure he carries a handkerchief and he sneezes or coughs in the kerchief. And sometimes if they don't do that, at least we can advise them to sneeze or cough in their elbows so that they don't spread the infection to others. Another important thing is following wiping their nose or mouth, they tend to again introduce the fingers into the mouth. Now, personal hygiene and proper hand washing brings about a lot of change in preventing these. Now, please understand that if you and the kid beside him also do the same thing, then we move quite an extent in preventing transmission of these illness. Now, apart from parents, even teachers, if they show good interest, then what they can do is they can segregate these children with some distance from the rest of the healthy children. And dear parents, if at all your kid is not really well, then you can give him some rest. This will allow him to heal and improve faster, and so also prevent the onset of these illness in his friends. So preventing respiratory infection is a group effort of the hygienic kid, the well-educated parent, the intelligent teacher, and so also lastly the doctors. Now, if we do that, then coming to the sixth important point is regarding dietary practices. Please understand that following rains, because of the contaminated food and water, we should make sure that we avoid eating junk food or food which is available roadside, because they become prominent source of infection. Home based food, clean food, food which is microwaved, boiled are best choices. Now, coming to 7th point, that is regarding clothing. Now, what happens is during rainy season, there is rapid change in temperatures, also the weather. What you can easily do is you can dress your kids in layers. So, if it's cold outside, the child can keep the second layer, while if the humidity increases and it becomes warmer, he can take it off. Please make sure that whenever you're going outside, please carry an umbrella or dress your kids in raincoats to prevent them from getting drenched. Now, dear parents, whenever you're going outside along with the umbrella, you can carry your own water bottle and your packed food to prevent infections generated from outside. Lastly, the very important point is that the kid idolizes the parent. That is, he watches what the parent does and he follows the same thing. If we as parents follow all the principle, then genuinely your kid will observe you and he'll inculcate them. The dear parents, please while going outside, what you can do is you can use mosquito repellents if at all you are going outside. Now, coming to the last and very important point is certain important precautions during COVID times. That is, make sure that if we are going outside, then we as well as our kids should be wearing a proper mask. A mask prevents generating of aerosols and prevent infection generated by us to others. So also their infections can be prevented to enter in our body. Apart from that, frequent hand washing is a very important thing to prevent COVID-19. Lastly, we should avoid going to crowded places and maintain social distance wherever we are going. These all are very important, basic and essential informations for all patients. I am sure most of the parents are practicing this, yet it is just a reminder during the beginning of this monsoon season. Thank you. Hope it was informative, and for any questions, I am always there to answer them. Thank you.